Bye bye!
Welcome to Heisei Okinawa. I'm Amanda Rodriguez.
And I'm Kathy Millett. We've got a really exciting show for you today.
Kathy and I took a trip down to Naha Port for the annual Dragon Boat races.
And while we were there, we stumbled upon the underground world of Okinawa professional wrestling.
Stay tuned because this is an episode of Heisei you won't want to miss.
Dragon boat races have a long history dating back 2 millennia and originating in China.
We recently had the opportunity to visit the annual Dragon Boat races held at Naha Port, and we had an amazing time, didn't we?
Yes, we really did. Everyone we met seemed so excited to be there.
I know I was. I was definitely rooting for the Single Marine Program team.
Yes, I know they worked really hard getting ready for the competition. So check it out, a recent visit to the Naha Dragon Boat races.
Okinawan dragon boat racing originated thousands of years ago as a part of prayers for safety and good harvest. Today on Okinawa, dragon boat racing is as much a part of the culture as sushi or shisas. Tamaki Tetsuo is a local Okinawan who has been participating in dragon boat races for a very long time.
I've been doing this for 35 years. I started out as a Boy Scout leader doing community service, which eventually led to what I'm doing now.
Tamaki says the idea of racing dragon boats didn't come from Okinawa or Japan, but actually from another popular Asian country.
People traveled to China from Okinawa and saw the dragon boats there, so they decided to try racing dragon boats in Okinawa.
Today, dragon boat races are held in big cities during festival season. The most popular of all the festivals is the Naha Hari, with Hari meaning dragon in Chinese. This year's Golden Week Festival marked the 37th annual Naha Dragon Boat Race. Dozens of teams from all over the island came to Naha Port with their unique hand-carved boats to participate. Mr. Uehara's team from the Naha City Fire Department celebrated in their triumph after winning first place in their division.
We're a fire department team, and we practice after work. We go to the ocean or the pool. We started a month ago and only got to practice 7 or 8 times.
Companies like the fire department are common racers, as well as other local Okinawan schools and universities. But the inclusion of the American military, with teams from the Marine Corps, Air Force, Army, and Navy, is what makes the Dragon Boat races a truly international event.
Having them out here at this community event is big in a lot of different ways. The Marines have a great time. They get to learn the culture with it, what the reason we have dragon boat races for.
2,000 years. That's how long people have been racing dragon boats in Asia. But it wasn't until recently that the racing of these boats became recognized as an international sport. Dragon boat racing has since become so popular that it's practiced all over the world, with a heavy concentration in the United States. But Americans aren't just racing dragon boats on their home continent. A lot of them are doing it here on Okinawa as well, and immersing themselves in the unique racing culture.
I think it's important for the Marines to be involved with the local community because it gives a positive spin on what the Marines are here for. Lets the locals know that they're not just war fighters, that they are people too.
The Americans were a great competition for us. I'm really glad they participated. It was fun.
Events like this one help promote friendships between the two countries.
They get to meet a lot of people and they get to participate in that big festival too. So not only that, but you got 32 people that don't know each other that come together and work as a team and end up leaving there with a lot of friends.
Look out for the Single Marine Program and the Naha City Fire Department team at next year's event, which takes place in May during Golden Week. For Heisei Okinawa, I'm Amanda Rodriguez. Kathy and I had so much fun that we're thinking about trying out for the team next year.
We are?
Yeah, I heard it's a great workout for the arms, and if you've been watching Community Connections recently, you know that Kathy and I are always looking for new ways to get in shape.
That's right. And speaking of getting in shape, I heard of another fun workout I think we should try. Wrestling.
Pro wrestling isn't a term you hear often on Okinawa, but believe it or not, professional wrestling has made its way down to our little island all the way from mainland Japan. Pro Resu, as it's called in Japanese, stemmed from the American pro wrestling companies like WWE and received tremendous influence from the Mexican lucha libre style of wrestling throughout the 1990s. Today, there are 6 lucha resu companies in Japan, and one of them is just a short drive away. Located in the heart of Naha on Kokusai-dori, Okinawa Pro Resu is home to 10 masked wrestlers, 9 of which are Japanese, and 1 who is an Australian wrestler with a very unique story. His name is Brian Cannon, and he currently wrestles as the Kijimuna at Okinawa Pro Resu.
In Australia, we play like rugby and cricket. These are like very popular sports, but I sort of didn't get really into that, so I was into like American pro wrestling and Japanese pro wrestling when I was a kid. So I started wrestling in Australia and wrestling freestyle amateur wrestling, like Olympic style wrestling, and then made the Australian team wrestling for freestyle. Then just decided to be a pro wrestler and went to Canada and kind of went from there.
But the story doesn't end there. After a year of wrestling at the Hart Brothers School in Canada, Cannon suffered a serious shoulder injury that required several reconstructive surgeries. Doctors told him he would never wrestle again, but he was lucky to find one surgeon who thought differently.
He said he was like the only one that goes, well, if you come back to wrestling, we don't want you like having a scar, you know? He was worried about that. Yeah, he was right. He knew I'd be back.
And back he was. After about 5 years of physical therapy, Cannon started training again, but unfortunately it didn't last long.
I got injured training on the comeback, and I stretched my meniscus in my knee, and that's a terrible injury.
Doctors told Cannon surgery would be necessary, but the wrestler knew it would end his career, so he took a leap of faith and tried healing by alternative methods.
The teacher I had was amazing. She was like not only a pranic healer, but she was like a crystal healer. She uses crystals. I mean, it sounds very crazy and kooky, but it's not really, because I'll tell you what happened. And so we started making energy balls, and I'm talking these balls were like glowing blue in your hands, and you can feel them, and she would use it and to heal my leg.
After fixing Cannon's leg, the crystal healer asked him what he wanted most out of life.
She goes, okay, what we're going to do is you're going to write down on a piece of paper what you want, exactly what you want. You want to be a wrestler in Japan, you want to be successful, blah, 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 blah. So we wrote it all down, and she took the bit of paper, read it, gave some sort of manifestation like to the universe, burns the paper, puts it up into the universe, and she goes, that's it. That's it. You'll be a wrestler in Japan.
Cannon knew a fellow Australian wrestler who shared the same dream, so the two decided to become a pair and wrestle together. Within a matter of weeks, their dream started to become a reality.
I met this Japanese person, and they had a connection in Osaka that they knew a talent scout, and my legs started feeling better, so we started training again. My brother put some film together of us wrestling. We got a match in Melbourne together, and that was our first match ever together as a tag team. Croc Masters, Dingo and Taipan. He sent it to the connection that I met, and they watched it, and I'll tell you, nobody watches wrestling promos, but they watched it in Osaka, and they just said, well, we'll sign you. And that was it.
Upon arriving to Japan, Cannon's partner had to return to Australia, leaving Cannon to wrestle alone for the next year, and it wasn't easy.
No one wrestles harder than Japanese. So and they will beat you down, they'll keep you down, and because you're in Japan, right? You got to show them that you belong there. Otherwise, anyone would be here. That's why there's not many Westerners in Japan. Everyone knows coming out from Japan is like the hardest thing. If you come out from Japan and then you go to other companies, like you're respected just for going to Japan.
Just when Cannon's contract finished and he was leaving with his dreams of Japanese pro wrestling glory behind him, the wrestler received some hopeful words from Osaka Pro's owner.
The owner of the company is named Super Dolphin, and he said to me before I left, he said, I may be starting a company in Okinawa, but the time frame, I don't know when, but he said, if I start it, he goes, I want you to be one of the starting wrestlers. And he did. I went back to Australia, I was just working back there, and then he called me up and he said, we've got a spot for you here in Okinawa.
そうですね。うちの嫁さんが沖縄なんでね。
My wife is from Okinawa and we come here often.
来ることがあって、はい。
One day we were walking on Kokusai Street and I thought this would be a great location for some nighttime wrestling entertainment.
では成り立つんではないかなと思ってやり始めました。
Yeah, I was grateful to be here. And then to be given a mask, like growing up, most of my wrestling idols were Japanese masked wrestlers. So to be given a mask from a Japanese company, it's a big honor.
An honor that was finally recognized when Cannon got the opportunity to wrestle the Jushin Liger last year.
I was in the ring and I'm like, okay, this is what I set out to do. And I'm here now, it's very surreal listening to Liger's music come in and I'm waiting for him to wrestle. And I'm like, wow, okay, this is sort of weird.
Although Brian Cannon's journey to Japanese pro wrestling wasn't an easy one, according to Super Dolphin, there's a much easier way to become a pro wrestler.
ヒンズスクワットっていうのがあってですね、はい、上下のこうやってね。
If you do about 500 squats, you might be able to become a pro wrestler.
ぐらいやっていただければ。
But it took me about 1,500 of them.
まあ自分は1500回ぐらいやったんですけどね。
For Hi-Sai Okinawa, I'm Amanda Rodriguez. Kathy, how's my eye?
It looks good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you know you can pick up a copy of the June issue of Okinawa Living signed by the wrestlers at Oki Pro?
Just visit our Facebook page for instructions and don't forget to hit like.
You can also find directions to the arena, check out ticket prices, and even give us story ideas for upcoming episodes.
We're always looking for new places to visit and we'd love to hear from you, so check it out.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you online.